Peace and blessings, survivors, friends, and family. My name is Wayne Burns. Welcome to Stroke Warriors. As you may or may not know, May is Stroke Awareness Month. And for this month, I will have a few surprises in my videos. In this episode, I will be explaining the 5 steps I took to get to that next phase in my recovery process. See you soon. Welcome back. After having a stroke, there are many things that goes through your mind, and getting well is one of them. Now the question is, where do I start? Well, I want you to remember that your healing process have already began when you first started getting well. Your next step to recovery is the rehabilitation you should have started a couple of days after you had your stroke while you was in the hospital. In my last video, I explained how the speech therapist and the physical therapist came to my room to provide my rehab services, which was a big relief to me to know that I had a chance to get back to normal. The therapists were very helpful with getting me prepared for the rough road I was about to embark on. Learning to talk and to walk after having a stroke is the most exhilarating feeling ever. It gave me a peace of mind knowing that I could possibly beat this. Starting therapy right away is crucial to your all-around health. You want the muscles to remember what their job are, and this is called muscle memory. Muscle memory is a form of procedural memory that involves consolidating a specific motor task into memory through repetition. When a movement is repeated over time, a long-term muscle memory is created for that task, eventually allowing it to be performed with little to no conscious effort. This process decreases the need for attention and creates maximum efficiency within the motor and memory systems. Getting that therapy right away also helps with your mental state. When having a stroke, your mind is all over the place. You start to question any and everything that goes on. While the brain may not be a muscle, as many of us believe, you still need to exercise it in the rest of your body to keep it healthy and functioning at its best. The first step to your recovery is exercising your brain. Your brain isn't a muscle. Although it contains a bit of muscle, it's predominantly gray and white matter with cellular structure and function far different and more complex than that of a muscle. However, there's good reason why people compare the brain to muscle. In both cases, the use it or lose it principle applies. These are some of the things that I use to exercise my brain. The first thing I used was meditation. Now, meditation training improves a wide range of willpower skills, include attention, focus, stress management, impulse control, and self-awareness. It changes both the function and structure of the brain to support self-control, improve depression, foster a healthy body image, eases stress and anxiety, and lower blood pressure. Another technique I used to exercise my brain was to play word games. Word games can benefit the brain because they activate parts of the brain that deal with language and word finding, which forces the brain to exercise, work, and be active. There are many mind games on your smartphone that you can use. And the last thing I use to exercise my brain, which is the most very important thing to do, is to sleep. Now, sleep is important to a number of brain functions, including how nerve cells communicate with each other. In fact, your brain and body stays remarkably active while you sleep. Recent findings suggest that sleep plays a housekeeping role that removes toxins in your brains that build up while you are awake. Now it's time to move on to the second step of your recovery. The second step of your recovery is exercising your body. Physical activity is a cornerstone of risk reducing intervention for preventing and treating strokes. Moreover, exercise can improve the quality of life among stroke survivors by strengthening muscles and improving mobility, all with the goal of restoring functions. These are some of the techniques that I use to exercise my body. The first technique was stretching. The body is often less flexible after a stroke, which can make raising your arms, moving your legs, and performing various activities of daily living more difficult. Stroke survivors should do stretching and flexibility training before or after aerobic or strength training. You should do this at least 2 to 3 times daily. And also, you should at least do it every day if you can. The second technique that I used was walking. This is Louie, our dog. With having Louie, it gets me out the house so that I may be able to get some exercise in. Walk with you. When exercising your body, another good resource for you is to walk. Walking has always been a good exercise to get you healthy, but it also can be part of your recovery process. I try to get out and walk once a day if I can. With having a dog, you have to get out and walk him, so I use that for my exercise. It also gets the blood flowing and also get your heart rate up. That's also good for when you in the recovery process. So my dog is ready for me to take him for a walk. So I'll talk to you guys later. Research continues to show that walking after a stroke is one of the most important things that you can do to promote recovery. Clinical studies prove that walking helps a stroke victim regain strength, stamina, and balance. The National Institute of Health maintains that walking is one of the most important parts of stroke rehabilitation program. The brain needs stimulation to relearn motion that have been lost. Walking, even slow walking, is a movement that triggers this stimulus and increases the flow of oxygen to the brain. Another technique I used was strengthening my muscles. Now, muscle weakness is a common consequence of stroke and can result in a decrease in physical activity. Changes in gait performance can be observed, especially a reduction in gait speed and energy. Because stroke survivors often have balance problems which put them at risk of falling, you should do 2 or 3 sessions a week of balance or coordination exercises that really can be helpful. Some studies find that progressive resistance training seems to be most effective treatment for improving strength when it is appropriately targeted It significantly improves strength. And the last technique I used was a aerobic exercise. After a stroke, it is important to start making aerobic exercise part of your routine. Physical inactivity is a risk factor for strokes, so exercising can help prevent a recurring stroke. As with any exercise program, please consult your physician or healthcare provider before you begin. Now to the third step of my recovery. The third step that I used to recover was healthy eating. Eating well after a stroke is key to any recovery. Choosing healthy foods can help control blood pressure, body weight, reduce a person's risk of having another stroke, and may help with demands of stroke therapy and other daily activities. Maintaining a healthy diet is very important in your recovery. So here are some techniques that could be used helpful to you. Do something called food groups within my plate. The first thing is grains. Make sure at least half your choices from this group come from whole grain. The second thing is vegetables. Choose often nutrient-rich dark green and orange vegetables, and remember to regularly eat dry beans and peas. Also, fruits. Eat a variety of fresh, frozen, or dry fruits each day. Now, some people might not like this, or some might. I don't eat dairy myself, but some people do eat dairy. So, dairy is one good thing. So, choose low fat or fat free dairy foods, or a variety of non dairy, calcium rich foods each day, which is my preference. I drink almond milk. Only dairy I use is eggs and cheese. Also, protein. Choose low fat or lean meat poultries. And remember to vary your choices with more beans, peas, nuts, seed, and fish sources. In terms of fats, make most of your fat sources from fish, nuts, and vegetable oils. Limit fat sources from butter, sticker margarines, or shortenings or lard. The next technique is cutting back on salt. Salt is directly related to high blood pressure. One way to help reduce your risk of stroke is to keep your salt intake to less than 2,400 milligrams a day. Try using other kinds of salt-free seasonings such as herbs, spices, or fruit juices, maybe lemon or orange, whatever your flavor, whatever you like. Now on to the fourth step of my recovery. The fourth step of my recovery was I was determined and I was consistent in everything that I did. Many stroke survivors describe stroke recovery as a one step forward, two step backwards type thing. Experiencing a regression every now and then is normal. If you wake up one day and things are drastically going wrong, call your doctor. But if there seems to be an ebb and flow to your recovery, know that it is normal. When you zoom out and look at the big picture, everything should be going in a generally upward direction. And if it isn't, you should contact your doctor or your therapist. Now, the fifth step to my recovery is the most important of them all, and that is patience. Patience is the key. Gains can happen quickly over time. The most rapid recovery usually occurs during the first 3 or 4 months into a stroke. But some survivors continue to recover well into the first and second year, or even more after their stroke. Recovering from a stroke can be a lengthy process that requires patience, hard work, and commitment. It may take you years to recover. Thank you for allowing me to share the 5 steps I took to recover. And as always, remember, be fast to spot a stroke. And in closing, we can all do way more than we think we can. Don't forget to like this video, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to it. Also, hit the little notification bell if you want to be the first one to see my videos. Also, if you like this video, please make a comment. Feel free. Thank you, and until next time, peace and blessings.